Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Charbel from StockScrapers.com. Today, I'll be doing a demonstration of our SECScraper Excel financial modeling tool. So I'm going to start off with a quick summary of the tool and then get into a demonstration for you guys. So what this tool does is it empowers retail investors to scrape up to 12 years of 10K financial statement information directly from the SEC and export that information to an Excel spreadsheet for your financial modeling. The idea of this tool is to save you a lot of time so you don't have to go through and copy and paste and figure out what goes where. You don't have to worry about that. We did that for you. It's a lot of work, trust me. If you're anything like me and you work a job, full-time job, or you go to school, you don't have time for that. So therefore, we made this tool to make it easy for you. Additionally, what this tool does is it allows you to reorganize and rearrange otherwise disorganized information that the SEC has. And I'll get into more details of what that means. And it allows you to plot whatever rows you would like to plot for any of these financial statements with a click of a button. You just select what you want to plot. We create Excel plots for you. You don't have to worry about any of that. You don't have to do any of that work, which me personally, I hate doing. So it's definitely it's definitely going to save you time, and I'm excited to share this with you guys and hope you get some benefit out of it. So to go ahead and start off, if you come to our website, stockscrapers.com, and /SEC-scraper, you'll see this nice user interface. So you can enter any stock that has filed with the SEC. That's around 9,000 stocks that we have information on. I'm going to go ahead with Apple, and I want to point out that at the bottom you can say, do you want to plot and or organize the information that you're going to get from the SEC? So I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to show you what happens if you say no. So if you say no, it's going to download an Excel spreadsheet for you. And it's going to have the information in there. Everything that you would have otherwise is in there, but I want to point out that there will be some disorganized information. Like, for example, you have here a section in the income statement. So this is the income statement called earnings per share. And then you have another section called earnings per common share. These are the same pieces of information, but just because Apple is reporting every year over the course of up to 12 years that we have the data for, they will change the names of some of these sections or rows just slightly, which is a little frustrating, but they have no obligation to keep their verbiage exactly the same. So the whole point of rearranging and organizing, which I'll go through and do for the income statement, is so that you don't have to do this in Excel. So for example, like here in earnings per share, they have basic earnings per share, and they have that for data for that for 3 years. And then they have basic in dollars per share, which they have for like 5 or 6 years, keep going down. So basically what we do is we allow you to just say, oh, these two are the same thing. Let's go ahead and merge those and give it a new name, or you could rearrange the rows as well. So let's get into doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and submit, say, yes, I do want to plot and I do want to reorganize information for Apple. And it's going to go ahead and load that information up for me. And this usually takes around 10-15 seconds to grab. But yeah, like I said, it definitely has saved me a lot of time. It is a free tool. I hope that you guys get some use out of it. Um, so this is the data organization part. So we start off with the different sections. So you have the different sections. The bold top letter that I'm circling right now, that is the name of the section. So in this case, this section didn't have a name. And the lighter text underneath is the rows that were within that section. So I can just, I've messed with this before, but you can kind of scroll through and you'll see that, like, for example, this has the same rows as that. This one didn't have a name. This one has a nonsense name. This is just, it's saying that it was an income statement. So these are the same thing. So you can go ahead and select both of those. I'm going to say, because since it's pretty much net sales to cost of goods sold to gross profit. So I could say revenue to gross and merge. And then look, I've created a new section that includes all the rows merged together for those sections with the new name right here. And now if I look and I see here the earnings per share and earnings per common share, which we pointed out not too long ago, those are the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and merge those as well. And this is all before the Excel spreadsheet gets created. So you get to do this and then get the nice formatted and formal spreadsheet so that you can do your financial modeling. I think everything else is fine for this section, so I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. Now what I can do is rearrange the order of the sections themselves. So I would prefer to have the breakdown of revenue before I get into the revenue and the cost of goods sold, so I'd put that beneath that. Earnings per share, in my opinion, should probably go at the very bottom. And otherwise, I like the ordering of the sections of the income statement. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. So here we have all of the rows of the income statement that do not have data for every available year. So you can see like net sales for products only has data from 2018 to 2020. Um, these up here, Apple just started splitting up its revenue into products and services. I think it's when they started doing their Apple Music or providing Apple Music and things like that. They thought it was important to split their revenue sources, which is good. But you're not going to have all 12 years of information for that because they just started doing that recently. But if you look here for operating expenses, you have other income and expense, and then in the subsequent years, they renamed it to other income slash in parentheses expense net. So these are the same things. I'm going to click these. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it this way so that I have this name up here. I prefer not having all those characters and whatnot, just other income and expense. And I'll go ahead and merge those. And notice how that section disappeared because now you have, it has all the data. It has data for every year that's available for Apple. That's what I'm trying to, that's what I'm trying to say. So the same thing's going to happen with these. So basic shares and basic in shares, these are the same thing. And you can see how like the years are contrasted. This is 2009 to 2014. This has information from 2015 to 2020. That's no coincidence. That's because they renamed the way, or they're saying the same thing, but they're using a different name for it. So that's the same piece of information, but just under a different name. So I'm gonna go ahead and merge those. And if I tried to select two that had overlapping years, you wouldn't be allowed to do that. It just wouldn't make sense. There's no way to do that. So you can't mess up is what I'm saying. And accidentally select like this and this and be like, oh no, it's going to mess up my data. It's not going to happen. Don't worry. So these are the same. I'm going to go ahead and get through this step. These are the same. And then basic, these are the same. And then these two are also the same. And I think I've cleaned up my rows. So let me go ahead and continue. So now I can reorder the rows themselves. I can also move them from section to section if I wanted to. I've done Apple before. I don't think you really need to for Apple, unless you really want to, but I don't think it would make sense. I'd like net income probably at the bottom of this section since the bottom line, and then income before tax. Oop, put that right there. And then this is the provision for like, so this is a tax that they paid, or the provision for the tax that they paid, and probably put that up there. So see, you can rearrange the data how you would like, the way that you would want when you do finish up and get it, get the information in your spreadsheet. Um, if I hit continue, it would go to the balance sheet. Notice how we only did the income statement. It would go to the balance sheet, the same 4 steps, going through the headers and the rows, and then the cash flow statement. I'm not gonna, make you guys sit through all that. Trust me, it only takes like another couple minutes, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how plotting works. So I could say go to plotting, and it'll have all of the rows of the income statement. And I could just, say I want to plot net sales, I want to plot cost of sales, gross margin, operating income, operating expenses, income before tax, net income. And then let's say I want to also include, let's say, diluted earnings per share and the diluted shares as well. So I would select those, and then I would say, okay, this is a balance sheet. I'm not going to worry about that. I would say exit to spreadsheet, and right now it will put together a spreadsheet for us with year-over-year changes between each of those 12-year periods, averages and average year-over-year changes, and all those plots all the rows that I just selected for plotting will be automatically plotted for us. Nothing has to be done on our part. So here we go, we get a nice thank you message. And let me open this guy up, open the spreadsheet that we just got, and I will close that download tab. Okay, it's going to take few seconds to load. There's a lot of data in here, okay? Slowly but surely. And then when you're done, you can just click, yeah, I want to run another query, and it'll reload and go back to that same page that you started on, and you can put in another ticker and do whatever you want to do. Come on now, Google. There we go. You see the little green bar slowly loading. But so what happens is automatically all that information gets put into a nice formatted spreadsheet for you. You don't have to go and copy and paste values. You don't have to go through all the information on the SEC for the tickers that you're interested in. We already did that work for you. And click of a few buttons. If you want to organize, you can organize the data to get a nice looking spreadsheet. If you don't, you don't have to. So now that it's all loaded, let me show you guys what's going on. So you can see, like, for example, this is the revenue to gross profit. This is a section that we renamed and merged, and you can see net sales, cost of sales, gross margin. You have everything from 2009, and then the year over year changes going up, going up, going up, all the way up to 2020. This is directly from the SEC. You have your averages, your average percent changes. You have the, like I was saying, the products and the services broken down. They started doing that breakdown in 2018. So you have data for that as well. You have all the operating expenses that we adjusted and merged. So it's very, very useful. It saves you a lot of time. Trust me, if you were doing this by hand, it would take you quite a bit of time to put together. Matter of fact, let me show you guys the plots as well. So the plots, everything that we selected automatically gets plotted. You don't have to select and style your plots or whatever, or give it names or do the x-axis, the y-axis. It's all done. We did it for you. You could take a look, revenue to gross profit, revenue to net sales, cost of sales, gross margin, operating income. This is definitely, it saves time. It definitely saves time, and it's I'm hoping that you guys get a use out of it as much as I have. But yeah, so this is our SECScraper financial modeling tool. It grabs data from the SEC, directly from the SEC, allows you to reorganize that information, and puts it in a nice formatted spreadsheet with percent changes, averages, and average percent changes. It automatically plots information for you. Whatever you want to plot, we got it. We plot it for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this demo. If you haven't checked out the tool, please go check it out. It is free. I don't know if I mentioned that quite yet, but it is free to use, and it's very simple to use. And if you have any feedback upon using it, just feel free to email me right in the contact section. You could just hit contact us, taking that right to the bottom, info@stockscrapers.com. Shoot us an email, and I'd love to hear your feedback. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning into this tutorial, guys. And have a wonderful day.